Hello and welcome to Vivi Training Level 3, Engaging Students with Vivi. You should know who I am by now, but in case you don't, my name is Megan Kirsch. I'm the Professional Services Specialist here with Vivi in the US. Again, my role within Vivi is to support our customer success team by providing training and resources to our customers just like you. All right, we've made it to the end. We are in the final level of our levels training for Vivi Classroom app usage. And so today we are going to wrap up with the remaining tools that you have access to, including the assessment feature, the polls feature, message class, clocks and timers, and wellness. All right, so we are going to dive into the assessment feature first, and we're going to discuss not only how to use the assessment feature, but the different types of assessments that are available to you. I am going to go ahead and bring up my app here, and the assessment feature is on that second row. I'm going to go ahead and click on it. Now, it's important to note that the assessment feature within Vivi does require you to build an assessment question outside of this app feature. That is because your assessment question, and it is a one question assessment, has to be displayed for your students to know what they're answering. So how this should effectively work is, I'm going to pull up this slide here, which is my assessment question. Let's pretend we did a lesson on Friday about slime and the chemical composition. I want to know, do my students remember it? Is it a solid, a liquid, or is it both? And so with everything that we do within Vivi, we have to first share our screen in order to share to our display. So I'm back on the app homepage and I'm going to click on share screen. And there is my assessment question on my classroom display behind me. I am going to go ahead and hit this home icon. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on assessment. When you do click assessment, your display is automatically going to pause, which is what that message was indicating to me just now. And now I have the ability to choose what my assessment should look like. Now you have options between multiple choice alphabetical, multiple choice numerical, true, false, yes or no, and freeform, which is short answer. Now my assessment I designed is multiple choice, and it is multiple choice alphabetical. So that is the option I'm going to choose. By selecting that option on the left, I now have options on the right that I need to configure. For example, I need to choose how many correct answers or answer choices are there, and there are 3. You can go anywhere from 2 to 8. And if I wanted to, I could optionally select the correct answer. This does not show for your students. It's more for your own record keeping. Lastly, here at the bottom, you do have the ability on the left to set a time limit. Now, that time limit refers to how long will students have the ability to submit their answers. It's important to note, students do have to be logged into Vivi, joined to your room on their own device in order for the assessment feature to work. I'm going to go ahead and select no time limit, but you can go anywhere from 15 seconds to 3 minutes. Once you are ready to go, you're going to select Start Assessment. Now, on the page that you see, you will have a small screenshot at the top of what your assessment question is. On the left-hand side under Participants, you can see who is available to answer the assessment. I can click Show to see their names. And my students can now submit their answers in real time. So I've already got one answer coming in. Now I'm going to pause from the teacher experience and I'm going to move over to the student view. So here we go. On my desktop here, we have my student who's logged in. They're only going to see a green bar going across the bottom of their app homepage. along with the applicable answer options. Once they select their answer, that bar goes away. And now I have full participation. I'm going to go ahead and select Stop Assessment and confirm. So now my assessment's been complete. No more answers can come through. I have the ability to toggle on the left-hand side how I want my results to display, whether it's bar chart, pie chart, or just details. But once I am done and I navigate away from this page, I will lose this information. All of the assessment and poll data is actually housed in Vivi Central under feedback. That is the only section within Vivi Central that teachers automatically have access to. I will showcase that in just a moment. But because I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and hit stop all, which means I'm going to stop sharing my screen since that assessment question no longer needs to be up. And when I hit back, I am back on my home page. But again, when I go to click assessment, that data has disappeared from my app. This does allow me to go ahead and launch another assessment if I wanted to do so right away. But there you go. So again, for an assessment, you do have to have something created. It doesn't have to be super fancy. If you wanted to do it verbally, you could. But just know that students won't see that question on their app. It does have to come from you directly, whether being shared from your display or written on a whiteboard or verbally provided to them. All right, so that is the assessment feature. We're now going to go ahead and move on to polls. Now, polls are very similar to the assessment option, except polls were designed as more of a templated question option. So when I click on poll, you're going to have two options to select on the left-hand side. The first drop-down is which template question are you wanting to utilize? These are default templates that are set up in Vivi Central. Only your IT administrator can choose to change these for your entire organization if they want. Otherwise, this is what you have access to. Now, depending on the question you choose will determine the types of emoji responses that students will have access to. So the questions range from, how do you feel about the lesson? How do you feel about what we learned? How do you feel socially? How do you feel today? Is everything okay? Now, these are more social emotional in nature because we do know, at least I know from firsthand experience, that class sizes have continued to climb. When I left the field, I had close to 40 students in each class, and I had 5-6 sections. It made it really challenging to try to connect with each student every day. And there's a lot going on in the world, a lot going on at home. Students have a lot more stressors than ever before. And so it may be a good way, a good tool to check in, maybe as an exit ticket or maybe even your bell ringer, just to see, you know, who do I need to have some special attention time with. I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's see, how do we feel about what we learned? Maybe I tried something new today. Maybe it was a different type of lesson plan. Wasn't sure if my students quite got it or not. You know, it's a Monday. They weren't really too interactive or engaged. So I just want to kind of get a temp check. So this is the question I'm going to choose. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to click Start Poll. Again, though, on the left-hand side, you can choose a time limit, which determines how long students have to answer. I'm going to go with no time limit and start my poll. Just like with the assessment, I will be able to see in real time who has answered my poll as those options come in. So I can already see I have one student who's answered. I'm going to go ahead and showcase the student side of things. With polls, they will see the question at the top on their app homepage. How do you feel about what we learned? And now my student can go ahead and answer. Once they do, that bar goes away. And so now I have full participation. I can stop my poll, confirm, And now I can see I might need to check in with Herbert or maybe do a little bit of a review the next day just to clarify some information. You also still can organize your content in a bar chart, pie chart, or details, whatever is your preference. Again, though, once I navigate away from this page and click back, it resets to allow me to run a new poll. So again, with polls, you do not have to have anything built. It is all templated based in the app itself. Your students do have to be logged in, join to your classroom, and have access to the Vivi app in order to participate. But that is the poll feature. Now, I did mention that essentially you can access poll data later on, along with assessment data later on, if you needed to. And so what I'm going to do is pull over my Vivi app or my Vivi Central page here for my organization. And the feedback section on the left-hand side, when as a teacher you log in, and again, it's admin.vivi.io. I have the ability to drill down by template used or the assessment template used. I can even go by room number, presenter name, student name, if I wanted to look up student information in particular. But here at the top, I have the two that we just completed. So the first is the multiple choice alphabetical. That's the assessment question. I'm going to go ahead and click on that to open it up. Here we have a screen grab of what that question was. I can see my data. I see my students, what they answered, and when they responded. If I had selected for that correct answer to be displayed when I set my assessment up, it would have been listed here. But now I have this data I can use as I need. I can also export this information to a CSV file, maybe upload it to a gradebook or do what I need with it. I can go back to feedback and look at my poll. So that's the poll I just launched. And here I have all my data, so I know what my available responses were. I know who responded with what and when. Again, I can export to CSV. I can also look at it in a pie chart. So you have some options with how you'd like this data to be presented. But that is where you can find it after you've left that page in the Vivi app. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to Message Class. Message Class is a tool that is currently available to allow teachers to message their entire class, meaning all students who are logged into your Vivi classroom on their own devices can receive a message from you. All you do is click that Message Class option. You're going to select New Message. And then you're going to type accordingly, whatever your message may be. Let's say it's, giving a reminder. So maybe I want to go ahead and send this message. Maybe we're dispersed in a particular hallway or different area. I'm going to go ahead and send my message. I get a notification that it's been shared with the class. As a student, this is what it will look like on their end. The Message Class app will appear. They'll see a notification. They can click on it and see the message that has been sent. As you might have noticed, there is no reply option. There is no option for students to message each other. It is currently a one-way communication tool for a teacher to communicate with the entire class. Here until the teacher chooses to do so. So if I want to go ahead and clear this message, now we're good to go. My student experience, it's gone away. Now, maybe I want to go ahead and do a new message. Sometimes it takes a moment to completely clear. Oop, there we go. One benefit of this tool is also the fact that you can send links directly to your students and they will automatically hyperlink. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and send my message. Once I send it, my link automatically hyperlinks. My students now have the ability to know exactly where they need to go in order to review the poem. This would have been a nice game changer for me because I still had chalk and my handwriting was not that great. So students never could get where I needed them to go, or at least they pretended not to. This way, there's no excuse. Once they click, they'll be able to open it up right away, do what I need them to do, and they are good to go. So you can really utilize this however it makes sense for you and your needs in the classroom. Some use cases have been maybe you have groups working like in a media center, and they're all over the place and it's really large and you don't want to have to kind of go around and remind your kiddos of what they need to do, or, hollering and disrupting other students. You can, send a message out. You do have to let them know to keep an eye on things. But again, it can be a really useful tool if you choose to use it. Moving on to clocks and timers. Clocks and timers is a pretty straightforward feature. You have the ability to leverage your entire classroom display as a clock, stopwatch, or timer. Basically, you're going to choose your option on the left. So I'm going to start with clock. Choose your option on the right. Do I want analog, digital, or both to display? And hit display. And your entire display will convert to a clock, stopwatch, or timer, like we can see behind me. This does allow you to still use your device to do other things. However, this is a standalone Vivi feature. That means you will not be able to use any of the other Vivi tools while using the clocks and timer feature. However, this can be great for testing time, lab experiments, other timed projects, passing period, or when you have nothing else going on your display, why not have a clock? If I wanted to use my device to do other things, all I got to do is minimize my Vivi app and I can go ahead and I can do so. I'm going to go ahead and bring my app page back up. When I'm done, all I have to do is hit stop. Everything returns to normal. Same thing with the timer. A few more settings. You can give it a title if you'd like. You're just going to toggle to the time you'd like to have. You can update the alert length. You can have it repeat. Do you want sound to be enabled? When you're ready, hit display. And now my screen is counting down from the 10 minutes I selected. This is a great tool to use during testing time, after school meetings, department meetings. I have one principal who likes to use this for PTO meetings. However you want to use it. You have the ability to pause or stop it early. All right. Lastly, wellness. Now, wellness is an optional tool. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. In one moment. However, this can be a kind of cool, beneficial resource that is free. It's included with your Vivi. You don't have to have any extra logins or subscriptions or anything like that. But we partnered with Headspace to bring some guided meditation and breathing exercises to the classroom, especially at the end of the school year or coming back from a break. It can be really helpful to have. And they range anywhere from 1 minute in length to 8 minutes in length and a variety of different topics. All you need to do is select the option you like. It's actually going to place it in the play content feature of Vivi. It is audio only, so your screen's going to turn purple with the title. Just make sure your sound is up. Excuse me. But I can leverage my machine to do other things while my students are listening to the soothing Zen sounds of whatever the selection was that I have chosen for them. When you're done, you're just going to hit stop. and you now have access to go about your day and do other things. All right, that is wellness. Well, that takes us to the very end of our Vivi app training, level 3. Again, we do have additional resources on our training page. Feel free to take a look, including if you are looking for a certificate of completion, you can complete our self-guided level courses to earn one. But just want to thank you all for your time. Thank you so much again. If you do have questions, my email is below, or you can reach out to your customer success manager. But congratulations, you have completed Vivi level training. Enjoy, good luck, and let us know how we can be of assistance as you're using Vivi in the classroom. Take care and have a great day.